Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Digital. I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we did even more. Like, we spent so much time just getting a bunch of Moogles to the correct place. And then helped these dragoons over here get information about the area because of reasons. I needed to move over to a sanctuary to get my glamour applied for a Dark Knight. So, since I'm close to this now, I may as well continue with this quest first. Before grabbing the Zarby Dragons quest. Right. Weapons from the landlords. Ah, that was just an old thing I picked up off of a dragon's corpse. That Mogson is quite enthusiastic. I just gave him the weapon so I could have some peace and quiet. The Mother of the Chief statue, in my opinion, is one of the most serene places that was built by the landlords, but I prefer to show my reverence in silence. Lately, though, it's become more difficult to pray in quietude, Koopa. Since you're here, maybe you can help me attain the solitude I seek. The cries of the Cloudleavers make silent contemplation difficult. If there were a few less of those beasts around, I might be able to show the Mother of the Chief the respect she deserves, Koopa. There we go. Many thanks, adventurer. The statue grounds have become markedly more serene. The statue was carved in the lineage of Shiva, the beloved mother of the chief. You must always protect it and keep the grounds safe. The statue depicts the great worm race Felger's true love. You would surely want to preserve the statue as well. Koopa. A flock of migratory Anzu is defiling the holy waters near the statue, Koopa. Please, adventurer, get rid of them! But you must not desecrate the holy place by killing near the statue. Try your hardest to simply scare them away. However, if the answer proved to be confrontational, well, I guess I've no choice but to show them your wrath, Koopa. It's interesting how whenever I finish anything, it's just like bam, another quest. It's so freaking wild. Hello. You have scared away the answer. Logic dictates that at least one of these will fight me. There you go. Adios. I can hear the squawking of the answer no longer. My thanks, adventurer. Tranquility has returned to the area. The waters near the statue are sacred, and if wild beasts take up home there, they'll only desecrate them. That's why they must be gotten rid of, one way or the other, Koopa. Adventurer, it seems the migrating Anzu didn't stop by the holy waters just for a drink. They've built nests all around the statue, Koopa. Could you imagine how noisy it'd be with even more Anzu flying around, Koopa? I need you to remove the nests before a flock of noisy newborn Anzu keep me from ever playing again, Koopa. Please hurry. I'm starting to get why people don't like the Moogles. Or why people in general don't like the Moogle beast tribe getting locked behind all of this. At least I think it's all of this. I'm not sure, once again. In any case, it hasn't unlocked yet after all the work I've done, so... I presume. This is either slash lookout or slash prey. Okay. Slash prey. There we go. If these guardians saw me, they would brand me a heretic. Immediately. Bruh, if you... Boy, if you don't... Get out of here. Alright. I sighted several nests placed around Greensward. Were you able to rid the area of their presence? Massive nests constructed of not only twigs, but of salvaged arrows, strips of hemp, elm leather, and even bones. There were this many nests, and there were already eggs, Kupopo. If you hadn't removed the nest when you did, many thanks for your help. Finally, the Anzu problem has been taken care of. If only the simple-minded Anzu could understand the sanctity of this area's sacred statues. Mayhap one day, through my tireless devotion, I'll be able to make even such brutes understand their beauty, Koopa. There we go. I know that this statue, like, a lot of the quests that I've been doing have at least, like, something to do with the Beast Tribe. Or with the Beast Tribe quests, so... That's why I honestly think that this quest would also be a part of this. I mean, I could look this up, but also, I don't care enough. Lynn, the potion is doing its work. Before long, I'll be fully recovered. I was investigating the lower layer of the rookery when a hulking shadow blotted my vision. Managed to fight the beast off and escape, but I fear it still stalks this place. Would be a grievous error to let it live. More dragoons could come to harm. I would ask you to slay the beast for us. Once the deed is done, bring something from the beast. Anything that would aid in identifying the true nature of the dragon. Is it like below the island? Yes. I cannot in good conscience let our dragoons scout the area while that beast still lives. Are we able to track it down? Rusted Beshigu. A circular plate affixed below the armpit to deflect sword or lance thrusts. This one is rusted clean through. You pulled this from the beast's corpse? The summer dates back to before any of us were born. But there can be no mistake. It was forged in Ishgard. This must mean that dragon once was a heretic, and drank of the dragon blood until he... The gilding the armor indicates it's hundreds of years old. What would drive a man to choose to become that? To a heretic? Such a transformation indicate transcendence? Mayhap it's not for me to understand the mind of a heretic. Nevertheless, we owe you our thanks for ridding us of that abomination. Well, it seems we've completed surveys of all the ancient battlefields. Thanks to you, however, I have one last request to burden you with. I would ask that you deliver two things to Sir Handaloop at the congregation. Firstly, I would have you deliver the sealed crate containing the aetherometers. Secondly, I ask you to retrieve the observation log from the scout to the northeast. I shall inform my scouts at each location that our mission is complete. Then we shall return to Ishgard together. Once again, you have my thanks. We would not have been able to finish our mission without you. I received word from Sir Mayen, and have written down detailed information of my observations. Pray bring it to Sir Handelup at the congregation. The other scouts now will remain behind at this post and continue with our work until Mayen calls for us. Give Sir Handelup our regards, adventurer. Ah, Lynn, it seems the operation to Churning Mist was a success. What exactly did our scouts discover? This crate containing hydrometers has been branded with the seal of the Nice Dragoon. The results of several moons of monitoring dragon activity in and nearby the area. Ah, these hydrometers and the observation log will prove invaluable. However, this news that Mayen was attacked by a heretic turned dragon is troubling. I've been mulling over the information you and Estinian have brought to light. To think that at one time dragonkind and mankind once coexisted. Yet now we must contend with dragons born of heretics in this never-ceasing conflict. It is much too early to say if the news of our once peaceful past should be given credence, but it would be foolish to reject it outright. The best course of action would be to become more familiar with the history of the Churning Mist. It is only through knowledge that we can decide our next step. Estinian's report contains detailed information on the Moogles that inhabit the area, or that area. Mayhap they would prove to be an invaluable resource for us. Lynn, it seems you've developed a bit of a relationship with them, have you not? I apologize for asking another favor of you so soon, after you've returned, but I would be grateful if you could help us strike up our relationship with them. You have my thanks. I shall personally accompany you to ensure that this meeting goes favorably, and to show the Moogles my proper respects. We shall depart shortly, Lynn. I shall see you at our destination. Ah, Lynn, I see you still haven't chosen a proper Moogle name, Cooper. What would you ask of me today? There are those from the surface that wish to know the history of this land. Very well. If you vouch for them, I see no reason to refuse their request. However, I would ask one thing of you in return. The Moogles wish to live in peace, and we can't do that if war rages across the land, Cooper. As long as our desires are understood, I'd like nothing more than to meet these new friends. Now, where can we find this Sir Handelup? Excellent, Cooper. I shall dispatch members of the Palm Guard to escort him at once. Lynn, please go along with them. They may be shy around so many new visitors from the surface, Cooper. As if I haven't flown around enough in this hellhole. Here it is, my friends. There it is. That's the fate I was talking about. I wonder if somebody's actually going to be doing it, though. I don't think so. It's still at 0%, even at the beginning. If somebody was there, they would be fighting it already. Which is a little bit unfortunate, but yeah. This very slow 1% is Vedrofnir fighting Darkscale. So, rip. A big rip to that right there. Oh well. One day I will pursue this, but that is not today. Welcome to the Churning Mist, Cooper. Marglin has told us about you. It's our pleasure to guide you to Markham. Ah, where are my manners? I am Commander Handelup of the Temple Knights. We are honored to receive your guidance. Furthermore, we appreciate your willingness to impart on us your knowledge of the Churning Mists. If there is aught you would require in return, we would gladly repay your kindness. Sir Handelup, you come from a large city on the surface, yes? You might have exactly the knowledge we need, Cooper. We've long yearned to learn how to repair stone structures. If we did, we could repair Zenith with our own paws. Our Moogles have a sacred agreement with the Great Worm Racefelger that binds us to protect the Holy Tower, but after 1,000 years, time has worn its luster. Zenith is beloved by Racefelger and stands as a symbol of the friendship between the Landlord and the Skylords. If he could restore its former glory, maybe the bond between your two races would be revitalized as well. Indeed, the Holy See's knowledge of stoneworking is vast. Very well, although the road ahead of me may be difficult, I will do all within my power to convince the Holy See to send stonemasons and carpenters to do whatever they can. You're too kind, Kupo. However, there's one thing I must ask of you. It may be too soon to allow so many people from the surface into Racefelger's beloved tower. It could unnerve him. For now, we would ask that you teach us what you can at Markham, and then we can use our own paws to repair Zenith. It may start with us repairing but a single break, but if we keep at it soon, Zenith will, if we keep at it, soon Zenith will sparkle as it hasn't in a millennium, Koopa. I understand the Moogle's concern. I know all too well that 1,000 years of animosity cannot be forgotten overnight. Let us work with diligence, and brick by brick we shall rebuild that which has been lost. I'm glad we've come to an agreement, Koopa. Now let us be off to Markham. There's so much to share with you. And the airship is gone. The airship being adios. And here it is! Finally. It only took us, you know, a metric crap load of time, but here it actually is. Gosh damn Moogles, they'd lose their bloody pom-poms if they weren't attached to their heads. Can't find my nuts, Kupo. Find my pebbles, Kupo. You wanna know where your pebbles are? Well, I'll tell you right after I shove them up your bleeding... Oh, you're not one of them, thank the gods. Finally someone capable of sensible conversation. You see, I was sent here at the Temple Knight's behest to teach stonemasonry to these creatures. However, as soon as I arrived, they bombarded me with menial tasks, and before long I'd find myself traipsing aimlessly across the churning mists. I'll endure it no longer. It's time I bid good riddance to this place and its inhabitants. Madam, I am loath to ask you to suffer such a wretched company, but could you inform the one named Moogle that I shan't be returning? I dare not go myself, lest my temper get the best of me. Well met, adventurer. The Palm Guard remains vigilant as ever. What brings you to Markham? A sudden craving for couponuts? Another stonemason has gone home, Kupo. At least this one bothered to inform me, in a matter of speaking. I suppose I can't blame him for leaving. He was only trying to help us repair Zenith. They're sent here to survey the area and teach us what they know of working stone. As the Moogles are more concerned with who can concoct the cleverest tricks than who can build the sturdiest walls. They don't do it out of malice, it's just an impulse like breathing or hiding. But the Ishgardians don't view it that way. So far, this is the 9th stonemason that's left us. I fear Sir Handaloop may be regretting his decision to help. As a representative of Markham, I must offer him an apology and an explanation. Adventurer, will you guide me to Ishgard so I might mend the situation? What a relief, Koopa. I tend to get terribly lost when traveling on my own. I trust your preparations are complete. Excellent, then let us be off. Too much Moogle talk. When I have unlocked this beast tribe, I'm gonna stop recording. Because my voice is dying. Having talked my way through all of the freaking Moogle quests in the Churning Mists, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Greetings, Sir Handaloop. If it isn't Moogle and Lynn. An unexpected visit, but a welcome one, for I had been hoping to speak with you of our stonemasons. Each one has returned within a fortnight, more wroth than alas. They claim the Moogles are proving to be less receptive to their teachings than they had anticipated. I'm sorry. Sir Handaloop, my deepest and most sincere apologies, Koopa. The others only meant to make the stonemasons feel welcome by including them in their mischief. They never meant to anger. I swear on my honor as a palm guard that it will not happen again. For the sake of friendly relations, I'm more than willing to put this misunderstanding behind us and begin anew. Alas, we have already sent you every stonemason we can spare, and I fear there is little hope in convincing any of them to return to Markham. You haven't sent every stonemason, my dear Handaloop. Lord Terrason, what brings you to the congregation? Let us dispense with the title, shall we? And surely you can surmise why I am here. Every one of those thin-skinned milksops was a pupil of mine. How would it reflect upon me if I let their negligence bring this project to ruins? Besides, this task came directly to us by the Holy See, and failure would result in my family becoming a laughingstock for generations to come. So you see, for both personal and familiar honor, I must take up my hammer and succeed where my students have failed. Alas, I am well past my prime, the hammer weighs heavy in my hand, and my mind dulls with age. Alone, I fear I might fall victim to the clever deceptions of the Moogles, or my body might crumble under the stress of so much physical labor. Perhaps with the help of a young, stout adventurer. One who has won the respect of the Moogles, one who is well versed in their ways, while only with such a partner could this old man possibly hope to keep his honor from being sullied. Do you know any such adventurers, friend? Pray tell me, if you do. What courage did you see that Handaloop? This strapping young lass put her name forward without a second thought. Truly, you have brought solace to this tired old man's heart, my dear Lynn. Koopa, I'm not sure I understand. Are you saying both you and the adventure will help us? Indeed, my furry little friend. You shall be well taken care of. Now, our first order of business would be to gather all who are involved in this restoration. Moogle, I entrust that task to you. Lynn and I shall not be far behind. Before we depart, however, we have some work of our own to complete. You see, I mean to show the Moogles that they are not the only ones with a penchant for trickery. Come, meet me at the Jewel Crozier, and we can begin preparations. Shrug. There you are. Before we begin, I would draw upon your knowledge of the Moogles. Namely, I wish to know what foods they are partial to, for I believe therein we shall find the means to deceive them. So the makeshift economy revolves around these Koopa nuts. Why, this plan practically crafts itself. Our next course of action is plain, and I believe you are just the last to rise to the challenge. For your hands speak volumes that your words do not. They are the hands of a practiced artisan, much like my own. There is no need for humility, my friend. You are among peers, and as your peer, I would be honored to call upon your aid. I ask that you craft me a Koopa nut, not a real one, mind you, but a fake one. A fake which could fool even the most discerning Moogle. As I have never laid eyes on a Koopa nut myself, I must entrust this task to you. I require only one, which I shall use to make more. I believe with judicious use of wood, leather, and cloth, you should be able to craft a fake that perfectly captures the uneven textures of the wild nut. Here, I believe this material should prove sufficient. Now, I know full well that even the Masters has her failed attempts, and so have instructed Matthew here to provide you with more materials should you require them. Right, to proceed the thing, we need to go to the tribal quest stuff, then go to Moogle quests, and then we can make the fake. No, we can't, because I don't have enough fucking crystals. Yeah, this will be something I'm gonna have to either trade around or straight up buy. I'm gonna buy some now, in any case. Which ones do I need again? I need wind crystals. Wind crystals, 8,000. Jesus fucking Christ. I'll take these 500, I guess. If you're wondering, I don't really care too much about like market value and getting every single gil out of everything. It's whatever. Okay. Now let's actually go and craft it. Let me actually get some... I guess this is the only thing that I need to change. It doesn't need to be high quality, so I'm just going to finish it in one go. It's not going to give me anything more if I do it in high quality, so... There goes your work, Lynn. There's no need to rush. I would not want a masterpiece to be marred with a hasty hand. So this is a kupo nut. Although I'm not a Moogle, I'm certain that if I was, my stomach would be rumbling at the sight. Impressive. Considering the meager materials we had on hand. No doubt you are wondering what I plan to do with this. Do not worry, I would not dare spoil the surprise for you. For now, just know that I intend to make more. It may take some time, so pray go on ahead to the plaza near the Zenith. I shall meet you there. Welcome to Barles, Lynn. Truth be told, this place is in even worse shape than I was led to believe. Well, I suppose even a fortress begins with but a single stone. My apologies, Lord Terracin. I urged the Mockmenders to meet us here, but they all claim to be busy with something or other. It may be a while before they arrive. Terracin will suffice, my dear Moogle, and there is no need for apologies. From my understanding, the Mockmenders have laziness in abundance. While we are waiting, answer me one question. Who among them is easiest to trick? That would be Master Mogson, without a doubt, Kupo. He was put in charge of the Mockmenders on account of his deft paws, but he falls for their tricks, more often than not. One time he spent 3 days playing hide-and-seek, while the others gorged upon kupo nuts. Such deviousness. I doubt I can surpass so clever a ploy. Nevertheless, I must try. Moogle, I believe Lynn and I can take over the reins from here. We shall have the Mockmenders hard at work ere long. You mean to out-trick the Mockmenders, Kupo? Fascinating. I had no idea you played tricks on each other down below. Of course, I look forward to hearing of your victory. Oh, I do hope that he hides his pebbles. When building a wall, we are taught that a single ill-placed brick can cause a whole structure to collapse. I believe this Master Mogson may be our figurative loose brick. Now, let us take him out. He cannot be far. Nine stonemasons, Koopa. Surely they are praising my cleverness in Ishgard. How should I trick the next one? Oh, I know. A rare sickness which strikes once every 100 years and causes our pom-poms to... Master Mogson of the Mockmenders, I presume. I am Terracin, freshly arrived from Ishgard. Forgive me for eavesdropping, but I overheard a mention of a sickness. Is it what I need to worry about? Yeah, you're here already. I mean, yes, a terrible, incurable disease that has spread throughout the Mock-home. One last seen over 1,000 years ago. Once afflicted, our wings grow heavier than stones. We can do nothing but lie on the ground, helpless until it passes. I see. Such unfortunate timing. Well, I suppose we must postpone our work for now. May you and yours be in good health soon. It's a pity, truly. Whatever should I do with all these kupo nuts? Did you say kupo nuts? Here? Now? Why, yes. I brought a veritable feast, which I meant to share with the Mockmenders as a gesture of goodwill. Alas, we shall have to wait. A sickness which comes once every 1,000 years should require proper... Did I say sickness? Perhaps I was mistaken. Yes. Perhaps they weren't sick after all. Just napping. How embarrassing. Luckily for you, however, that means the rest of the Mockmenders are hale and hearty. I'll summon them and meet you at Barles forthwith. By the gods, I was hoping for a bit more sport than that. Perhaps if he said couponuts were a miraculous cure to this epidemic, I could have pretended to believe him. Well, what's done is done. Come, let us away to Barles and meet our new companions. As promised, I've gathered my most skilled Mockmenders. Now, I believe there was talk of a feast. Indeed. They have the paws of a true artisan. Now, for the feast. Let me start off our relationship by offering this bounty to you. That looks so plump and so juicy, Kupo. And all of this for little effort. As master of the mock manners, I declare first privileges. That's not how a Koopa tastes. It's a fake. How could something that looks so delicious be so disappointing? My dear Mogden, it seems the tables have turned. Indeed, these nuts were wrought by man, not born of nature. Even better than a real thing, yes? Well, besides the taste, of course. They're all fake? There's not even a real one tucked away inside, Kupo? Perhaps we should check once again, just to be sure. Dare say these would fool even Chieftain Moglin. And no one has ever been able to trick him. Truly works of art, Koopa. This is but a small sampling of our capabilities, friends. I have built towers and raised walls that rival the largest in the churning mist. Yes, even Zenith. You mean, you can make Koopa nuts even larger than these? Larger than Zenith? Perhaps I could if I had the inclination. However, I offer you something better. Pledge your paws to me and I shall teach you how to craft aught you can imagine. Alas, I will make this offer only once. So, what say you? Anything we can imagine, Koopa. Of course, we swear on our pom-poms to be diligent pupils. Why, I'm ready to start preparing Zenith this very moment. That's the spirit I like to see, but we have a long road ahead of us, my Moogle menders. Before we start working on this palace proper, I believe we would do well to begin by repairing this very plaza. What you learn here shall form a solid foundation for what is to come. Well, now that things have settled, I do believe formal introductions are in order. I am Mogzin, master of the Mockmenders. I never knew what a crafter was capable of until I saw those fake Koopa nuts. With even a fraction of such skill, I have no doubt that we could restore Zenith to its former glory. Still, I can't help but wonder what we could have accomplished had we listened to the other 9 stonemasons. Oh well. I suppose there's no use racking my pom-pom over the past. Besides, you and Harrison are so much more kind and patient than the others. You do plan to stay and teach us, right? We'll work every day until our paws are sore and our cheeks are flushed. I promise you that, Koopa. Together we'll rebuild Barless, Koopa. Piss off, Koopa! That's so good. Truly, Koopa? The others will be overjoyed to hear it. Mockmenders, let us go forth, tools in paw, and make Zenith shine once more. Finally, my friends. It is unlocked. We have done it! We have done every Moogle quest. Outside of the Beast Tribe quests. But that's a slightly different situation, I suppose. But man, oh man. I remember this being a lot of work, but I didn't remember it to be this much work. Jesus Christ in heaven. Anyway. These are Beast Tribe quests that you can only do as a crafter, I think. Either as a crafter and gatherer, or only as a crafter. I am not 100% sure about that. Either way, that took way too much work. Way too much work. Also, for some kind of reason, the VAF start at friendly and Moogle start at neutral. They all go up until blood. What's it again? Bloodsworn, I think? Oh no, Allied, right? Allied's like the really big one, I think. I don't remember, but whatever. I'm done. I'm so fucking done. I'm so done with the Moogles. And just in general with the game. I've had enough for today. I've had enough talking. Oh, maybe not talking, but like fucking voice acting, kind of. Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm good. I'm good for today. Well, anyway. I hope you enjoyed this episode of just I was playing Final Fantasy XIV. A shorter episode, mind you, but I need to stop now because I can't really continue much more. And next episode, we are going to go and deal with... Well, we're going to go over to the Ravanian hinterlands. So, this area over here. And do all the quests that are available over here. What? This is the best thing they ever added. I didn't even notice that they added that. So this is Matoya's Cave, which is like an offshoot area, but it has quests in it. So they actually made it so you could see that now. That is amazing. When did they change that? Didn't even notice. Anyway, goodbye.